Hello, hello, hello. Entrepreneurship, week 3 of 8. We're almost halfway done with this quarter already. It's blowing by. Hey, here's what we're going to be talking about, and here's what's going to be due this week. Let's see. So, yesterday we did some housekeeping. We did 10 ways to evaluate a market. We looked at evergreen potential. Really cool concept. And then this week, what we have due is a new revenue model, and then your testing of your prototype. And so I want to cover both of these things today, so you get a feel for what we're looking at. Okay, so let's start with the end of your starting a business and your prototype. So let me get down there. So we're launching a business. You know that we think of business ideas, we test our assumptions, and then we refine our idea. Then we build a prototype and test it and refine our idea. And this is where we're at right here. We're building and testing your prototype. Let's see. So, you should be kind of finished building your prototype. Because now we want to get out into the world and test it. And when you test your prototype, we want to, it's really important who we choose to be our customers. In other words, if you build your prototype and your intended audience is middle-aged women who have a certain problem in life, maybe it's a hair problem, maybe it's a career problem, maybe it's something very specific that you want to your solution, your business is targeting. You want to find those customers that fit that profile. You don't want to necessarily find your little brother in the next room and have him test the prototype, because that's going to give you bad feedback. It's going to give you bad feedback. And so we want to choose ideal customers, and then we want to have them test it. Let's see. So here are the steps that I think usually happen here. So you determine who you want to test your prototype. Again, that's your target demographic. You go out and find them. Then you allow them to use your product or service to test it. You get their feedback, and then you refine your prototype based on their feedback. So it's this feedback loop. They use it, you learn, you get some feedback, you refine, and then you improve your prototype. Now there's two types of feedback I want to highlight to you. The first type is called in-person feedback. The second type is after use feedback. Let's start with after use. Let's imagine that you have your prototype, you get it out to your target users, and let's say they use it not in front of you. They go off and they use it, and 2 days later, you interview them. So you interview customers after they have used the product or service. And you're going to get feedback from them. So this is okay. Like if there's nothing else, this will do. You'll get some good feedback. But let's contrast that with in-person feedback. In-person feedback. So imagine that you have your prototype, you find your ideal customer, and then they use it, but they use it in front of you. And you're just sitting there with a notepad. You're not intervening. You're not pointing, oh, click there, do that, do that. You're not doing that. What you're doing is you're letting them use the prototype in front of you and watching them as they interact with what you've built. Now, this is ideal because you're going to pick up a lot of things that you can improve about your prototype that you wouldn't get here. You're going to see where they're confused about your prototype. Oh, like they don't know where to click, so they start guessing. Well, they're not going to tell you that here. They're not going to say, well, I didn't know where to click here, so I just guessed. No, no. You're going to pick that up in person feedback. So this is ideal. If you have an opportunity to watch your customers use your prototype, you're going to get the best feedback. All right. And then a question is, should your first customers pay to use your product or service? So let's imagine that you have a customer, you find somebody and they're willing, they fit your profile, they have the problem that your business solves. Should you try to get them to pay for using your product or service? And the answer is ideally, yes. You should try to get them to pay. Why? Because if they have the problem, if they say they have the problem that your business is trying to solve, and you go to them with this solution and they say, oh, wow, that's a really great idea. I love that idea. And you say, great, here it is. Are you willing to pay for it? And they say, no, I'm not really willing to pay for it. That gives you some really good feedback that the way that the way they're experiencing the problem isn't worth paying for yet. Wow. So they can give you amazing feedback, slap you on the back, and congratulate you. Wow, you're so smart. You designed this really awesome thing. Great idea, great idea, great idea. But if they're not willing to pay for it, you don't have a business. And so you got to go back and check your business idea and say, is my business idea really solving a problem that people are worth paying for? Worth paying for. So, long story short, guys, this week what you're going to be up to is you're going to be finishing your prototype building and then getting out and desperately finding your first customers. Yep. So that's what this is. Let's go see how that looks in Schoology. We're on week 3. And you can see that we have prototype testing. And we have week 3 prototype testing. And we have the document here. So again, here are those first steps. Find your customers, allow them to test your prototype, get feedback, and refine your prototype. So here I want you to list at least 3 people who you found to be your prototype testers, and why each of these people fit your target, like that these are good testers. In other words, that they have the problem that you're trying to solve, that your business is solving. Then I have test number 1. What did you learn from the tester using your prototype? What will you refine about your prototype based on what you've learned? And then the same thing for test 2 and 3. And then our rubric looks like this. Prototype testing, students selected at least 3 people to test their prototype. These 3 people are actual possible customers. Student tested prototype with at least 3 people. Student captured their feedback. And then prototype refinement. Student used the data from their testing to refine their prototype. So that's all the must-haves. Let's look at Be Brilliant. For prototype testing, student tested prototype with people who are in the customer segment group they identified for their product or service. In other words, that you've actually went out and found somebody who could be a possible customer. It wasn't just your brother down the hall. And then prototype refinement, student refined the prototype based on customer feedback and retested to learn more. So here what I'm saying is, hey, you go out, you refine your prototype. If you go back out and retest it to see what your change did, then that's how you earn the above and beyond here. So that's what we're gonna be doing for prototype testing this week. Good luck. Get out there and really try to find testers and see if you can get them to pay for it. Hey guys, I'm going to so next thing we got to talk about is your financial model activity this week, but I'm going to put this into a different video just because I want to talk about it um, kind of specifically. So right under this video, you should see another video for revenue model. So go watch that and you'll get an idea.